Fields to the New York Jets?
I'm fine with this. Obviously, the Jets are essentially starting over. Even if you had brought back Aaron Rodgers, you know you weren't winning anything of significance. I mean, at best, and this is a long shot, you would have made the playoffs and gotten bounced early. So you're building your own culture, Aaron Glenn, and Justin Fields can grow with this coaching staff. I also think, obviously, they wanted Fields, and they're going to build the offense to his strengths. He's never really had that. Obviously, it wasn't the case last year in Pittsburgh. So I think they'll build it around his strengths, which obviously is running the ball. But he's going to have to throw it better. There's no doubt about it. You don't want to waste a Garrett Wilson. And if Wilson isn't getting the ball like he should, then he will unjustifiably get frustrated. All right, he has been in New York with these middling to bad quarterbacks his entire career. And I wouldn't blame him for getting frustrated. So Justin Fields, we obviously know he can run the football. He's going to have to throw it better, and they'll give him the whole chance. And to grow in New York with Garrett Wilson, it's not a bad move because obviously they're a team that's in rebuild mode.
And remember, Brew, the last time Justin Fields looked great throwing the football was at Ohio State with Garrett Wilson. So, there is that where it's like, okay, they have a connection. They've played, they have a relationship to a degree. I understand Garrett Wilson at that point was a younger Garrett Wilson, but both were younger, but he was early in his collegiate career. And so this to me is more about Aaron Glenn trying to make it clear, put the Jets in a position where they don't have to reach on a quarterback in the first round. Now, maybe if they love either Shedeur or Jackson Dart, who could be their pick, maybe they take him anyway. And Justin Fields in a quarterback competition. Fields' age and draft pedigree are really the things he has going for him. It's very, very difficult for me to sit here and say you can rely on him as a passer because at no point in his NFL career has he displayed that. And even last year in Pittsburgh, when he was playing some of his best football, Mike Tomlin, a coach we all have immense respect for, was adamant and convinced and steadfast that the better option was an aging, middling Russell Wilson, and he had as much information as anybody could have. So I like this a lot more than them staying with Aaron Rodgers. They obviously were the one team that couldn't go after Sam Darnold because that just wouldn't make sense. So I wouldn't have liked Russell Wilson there. I think having as odd as this sounds, non-celebrity, non-highly drafted, non-quarterback, draft savior in New York could be good for him. Because if you look at really the last decade, whether it was Darnold or Zach or Aaron, the story of the Jets was always really the story of the quarterback. Now it doesn't have to be that, as Justin Fields can kind of just be a supporting actor in the movie, so to speak. And I think that's probably good for what Aaron Glenn's trying to put together.
Yeah. Oh, man. This is such an interesting move, and obviously this is all happening, there's a lot of dominoes are falling all over the NFL. So I'm trying to process all of this one by one. There's, a lot to kind of break down. Because I'm also trying to figure out, anytime a team makes any type of move, you're trying to figure out, again, what is the goal? What is the goal for the short term and the long term? That's what I keep looking at all these moves at, because we know some of these teams are looking to rebuild. Some of these teams are trying to win now. So it's just what does this move mean? What does this signal? What are they looking to accomplish? So I want to try to unpack this from kind of a few different ways. First and foremost, listen, I don't think Justin Fields is going to be this sneaky great quarterback. I just don't, nor do I think that the Jets necessarily have that infrastructure. I think in order to really truly maximize a Justin Fields or even make him remotely a good enough quarterback where you can truly win games and continue to move forward, you're going to need an absolute brilliant, high level offensive coach, right? That you're going to need the Shanahans, the Andy Reids, the Kevin O'Connells, the McVays, etc. The ones who just fundamentally understand the quarterback position to the absolute core and know how to maximize it. So, listen, do I think that Justin Fields is a mess of a quarterback? No. so on one side, I think for the Jets, this is interesting because this is Justin Fields constantly signals to everyone the potential. It's always potential. What could Justin Fields be? Even Brew keeps talking about it. Oh, Justin Fields can grow into this, and he's never had a team that was built around him. So there's always that feeling of hope around Justin Fields. Oh, we got Justin Fields. He was so good, when he was younger and in college and this and that. And even look at some of his highlights with the Pittsburgh Steelers and this and that. This is so great, and he's so mobile, and he's pretty strong. He's very physically gifted. Like, if we can just tap into this, like, man, we could really win. And look how young he is still, and look how cheap we can get him. And it's like, it feels good. There's that optimism, that excitement, and that's what they had in Pittsburgh, and it went exactly nowhere. And so what the Jets are probably looking to do here now is, they don't want to be a disaster. They don't want to play this game with like a Gardner Minshew or like a Russell Wilson or an Aaron Rodgers. Like, they're not looking to do anything with either quarterback that truly has like kind of potential, but we know exactly what he's going to be right now, or a quarterback who's old and you're just kind of like, oh, I don't know, which version are we going to get of said quarterback? And so Justin Fields now gives you kind of that hope, and still can put you in positions, can still win games, obviously. Like, we know that he can obviously be a quarterback in the NFL. Again, I'm not saying he's this great high-level quarterback, but we do know you obviously can still win games with him. But make no mistake about it, if you watch the Steelers games with him, the offense was just not good with him. I don't care about any of the numbers. I don't care about the win-loss rate. I don't care about any of that. Just watch the games, and you can see that the offense is not actually, doing what it needs to do. So that is a problem. My guess is what the Jets would want to do, or what they're going to try to do, is, right, if they can draft someone who they really like, then boom, you draft that quarterback. But if not, they're going to try to essentially be like a baby version of the Philadelphia Eagles. Now, to be clear, a lot of people think that you can just kind of casually copy the Philadelphia Eagles, because people still don't think that Jalen Hurts is a great quarterback or an elite quarterback, or whatever terminology you want to use. And other people tried to argue. Someone in the comment section recently was like, "Oh, Justin Fields, is like Jalen Hurts," and it's like, no, he's not. No, he's not. It's just not the reality. And Jalen Hurts has now won with many different teams in terms of roster construction and many different coaches, and has won in many different ways, sometimes with his legs, sometimes with his arm. Jalen Hurts is a high level player that is proven, Super Bowl MVP. And so I think there's this kind of idea of like, hey, when you have kind of a mobile quarterback who appears to look like a Justin Fields or a Jalen Hurts, like, you limit them throwing, you really triple down on the run game and defense. So when you have a great defense, you can run the ball a lot. You can ask your quarterback to throw less. And also now when you double down on the run, it's a massive benefit to also now have a running quarterback. And then again, you play this whole game where you're constantly, baiting with like the RRPO, where it's like, is Justin Fields going to run? Is he going to just hand the ball off? Is he going to throw? It's like, and you're going to try to emulate that. But the difference with that is, like I said, when you ask Jalen Hurts to run that offense, he does so at an incredibly high level. His decision making is incredibly high level. And then when you need him to throw, he can. When you need him to run, he can. And he's done it now also in the biggest moments, in multiple conference championship games, in multiple Super Bowls against top defenses. So you can't just copy and paste and expect the same results. So that's why I say kind of like the baby version of that, the light version of that, I think is like what the hope they're going to do, especially when you have now a defensive head coach. Like, they're going to look like when you have Justin Fields as your quarterback and you hire who you did from a head coach standpoint, like, you're looking to be a defensive forward team. And if that's the case, then again, you're going to be trying to find your quarterback to throw the ball 20 times, 18, kind of like what the Ravens have done a lot too. Like, having a lot of these games where Lamar Jackson throws the ball like 19 times, 18 times. Heck, even an offensive forward team, the current Jets, the new Jets head coach right now was obviously with the Lions, and he had many times when Jared Goff threw like 14 times one game, like 12 times, I think, 18, like very also weird kind of box scores like that. Obviously a completely different team, completely different offense. But yeah, I'm curious to see what they're officially trying to build. There's a handful of teams right now where I'm very much just like, we're still so early on to try to figure out like, what are they trying to do? Like, what is the master plan here? My one concern about Justin Fields is that New York is obviously ruthless. The Jets are obviously intense and passionate. They want to win. They're sick of this. I told you guys this before. I grew up even going to Jets games. My uncle had season tickets, and so I grew up tailgating, since I was like 6 years old, going to lots of Jets games. And so I know how intense and passionate that fan base is. And, they're not looking to play games with Justin Fields. They're just not. They're going to have some optimism, but they're also going to be incredibly skeptic. And I'm sure a massive part of this fan base is going to be like, congrats, we got Justin Fields. Now we're going to win, very sarcastically. Like, they're going to be like, what the heck are we doing here? I think you're going to have some section of this team, of the fan base, being like, all right, Justin Fields, let's see what this kid can do. So the other section is going to be like, this is the biggest waste. What are we doing? Why do we keep doing this nonsense? And the other section of the fan base is going to be like, I'm done. I'm over it. I don't care. New York Jets are trash. Leave me alone. This is so ridiculous. And they're going to be angry. They're going to be like exceptionally angry about it. And so he's going to already, I think, come into a pretty hostile environment. And there's going to be no patience. The fan base is going to have zero patience for Justin Fields. They're not going to be like, oh, well, he's just getting situated. He's got to relearn the offense. Like, the New York Jets fans are not here for that. They're just not. They've been ripped around in circles with this coach and that coach and this quarterback and that quarterback and this defense and that, and they're not here for it anymore. They're done. They're ready to turn the corner here. They're ready to win. They're ready to build something. They're ready to have something to cheer for. This is such an insanely passionate and connected fan base. Again, the tailgates themselves are just like, it's like it's just massive. You would think that it's college, but it's all grown adults who like just live and breathe, the New York Jets. That goes beyond just New York, honestly. To me, my because I'm not born and raised in New York, far from it, but to me, the time that I've spent in like a New York City versus like, obviously, like I just said, tailgating and going to the Jets games, like it's a different energy entirely. That's why in a weird way, it almost kind of feels like its own little college bubble. Maybe because New York is so divided with so many different teams, like the Mets and the Yankees and the Giants and the Jets. Like it really is, it's its own entity. And, there's such intensity there, and they haven't had anything to go with it. I mean, just look at how electric when Aaron Rodgers, when obviously he got injured, how electric it was. I know it was September 11th, but just that whole energy and the buildup, it was massive. I'm saying this right now, and I'm getting the chills just thinking about it. Obviously, it did not go as planned, but there's just such electricity there. And you now are putting Justin Fields out there. The moment that Justin Fields looks a little unsettled, uncomfortable, it's, man, you're juggling eggs in the air, and it just at any moment it just can come crashing down. So, that's probably my biggest concern with this more than anything. Make no mistake about it. This fan base is ready to pop, and they demand, they want something better, and they deliver Justin Fields, and it's like, all right, best of luck. So I'm interested to see how this lands for not only Jets fans, but obviously how it actually lands like in practice in terms of like what this actually looks like. Because like I said, like I kind of keep saying in all my takes today right now, is just like so many of these moves that are being made are so, trying to just figure out the plan and just trying to figure out, what is the grand scheme? What is the master goal? What are you trying to accomplish here? Which then makes it a little bit harder to predict right now in March, because I don't know what other moves they're looking to make. I don't know what conversations they're looking to have right now and what they're trying to accomplish. But make no mistake about it, 2-year deal, $40 million. It's not a cheap deal by no stretch of the imagination. That's not a 10. Look at the Vikings. They got Sam Darnold for like $10 million or something. Like, this is 2 years, $40 million. That is, even if it was just a one deal, $20 million, like that is because then they are saying like, you are our starter. Like, you are the quarterback. You're not going to pay a quarterback $20 million not to play him. And if you do, that's money incredibly poorly spent. And you're not going to, like Nick said, oh, we're going to have a quarterback competition. Like, why? And you're not going to have another quarterback come in and learn from Justin Fields. You're going to have him learn from the quarterback who's struggling to stay on a team in the NFL. Like, it doesn't really make sense. So, like, they're clearly thinking, no, Justin Fields is the guy that we really hope to be, and we can get him obviously for a cheap deal, so we're going to do it. So it's just like, I don't know. I'm still wrestling with it, honestly. So I'm curious your thoughts. Would love to hear yours. Let me know in the comments below. How do you guys feel about Justin Fields to the New York Jets? What do you think the signals for the Jets? Again, especially New York Jets fans, please let me know how you guys feel about this move. Let me know in the comments below. I read every single comment, so whether you agree with me or disagree with me, either way, let's get in some discussions, let's get in some fights, but ultimately, let's just have some fun. And please do consider subscribing. We're building an amazing community here, and I absolutely love to see you part of it. I want to build something that we all genuinely feel connected to, something that we're really excited to be part of. I think we're well on our way to doing it. Please don't forget to give this video a thumbs up, as it really does help the visibility and the algorithm. Thank you so much. See you next time.